consciousazine.com Chronicles.
What's up, person peoples? What we are going to get into today, the video is here. Okay. So OPs have to move you to cause aura fracture. This is the title of this video. So they have to move you. You know what I mean? Like when you watch a movie and you're moved and you have E motion, energy motion. Remember yesterday I did a video on how energy is transacted in the fourth dimension, and the major war at the end of history is a fourth dimensional war for your mind, and it's about fear and love. And let's not say that fear and love are emotions, but any energy motion towards either end of that spectrum, or any emotions, you know, any energy motion will create loosh for them to feed out of you. And it's the fourth dimension is energy motion, emotion. It's where energy becomes tangential, and you can have infinite feeling, infinite depth to feeling, and so on. Infinite variety in the fourth dimension is allowed for. And OPs have thus infinite ways to move you. So the Matrix has infinite ways to move you. So, you know, it can come in any way. That's what I'm trying to stress. And yeah, it's just they have to move you, as in your energy motion, in order to capture loosh or to get it out. And to cause aura fracture, let's go more into this part of the title. Obviously this is an energy steal attack. Aura fracture. Well, in consciousazine.com, my website, which I didn't first intend to be my website, but people just don't seem to love as much as me. I just keep pumping out, don't I? I just keep, over the years, I just keep pumping out videos. I just keep helping you guys. I just keep doing it. So much love, really, to bother is, you know, love, yeah? I don't have to be here doing videos. I can just be sitting on the beach all day long. So to bother is to love. Anyway, so the aura fracture in consciousazine.com, there's a article on planar flows. That's like across a surface flow, a planar flow of the aura. And then it also talks about laminar flows between the planes or the surfaces or the different parts of your aura. There's like different shell layers. So between the different layers, the layers themselves are the planar flows. That's where the planar flows occur of energy. And between planes, or the planar flows, or between each aura shell, is laminar flows. Now when an OP pushes on your aura in a certain way, they're releasing frequency. Now this frequency is seemingly kind of intelligent. It'll always be a low vibration, and if they do this push into your aura for this certain energy steal attack, what seems to happen from my feeling and seeing of this, to me, it appears that it's like a weird static cloud vibration. It's like they push a cloud over you, and that's one method. It's like the whole cloud of this odd vibration, like abhorrent vibration, just leaking out of them into the surrounding area and over you. That's how it seems to occur to me. It's like a cloud of static electricity emanates out of these people, which makes sense because, you know, if you read in science, one anion or negatively charged ion aligns 1 million water molecules. And I've said before in one of my videos on OPs that the really long one, I think, or maybe, no, it was in the Loosh video, I said that, you know, I'm pretty sure in that video that the OPs are positively charged a lot, and grounding is super important for soul vectorization and connection with the plant mind over soul of this planet, the planetoid. You know, to actually connect with the minded entity which is Earth. It's not just a static object and rock. Grounding is very important, and for the negative ions to align your water, and you're mostly made of water, and this equals coherence. And hippies always go on about alignment this, alignment that. So alignment is like a massive theme, like in health, absorption is a massive theme. So anyway, we're not going to go back into that. So, and that helps your aura bounce back too, because as soon as you ground, any electrical fields are pushed off of you. So you actually reinvigorate your laminar flows instantly when you ground, and it's instantly when your big toe steps on the ground, not your back, okay? Not your spine sitting on the ground. That's not grounding. It is, but proper grounding needs to be done through the K1 meridian on the bottom of the big toe, the ball of the big toe joint. It's like the K1 meridian is the kidney 1 meridian, and it has to be done there. And I've noticed that this is true. This comes from all my research, and apparently we can go to negative 66 charge. That's another little tip. So you can feel this too. You feel this like cool air enter you inside, and you can feel the negative gel in your body recharge, and it's like a battery in a way, takes on negative reservoir nature. It's like a reservoir, takes on negative charge, and you feel your thyroid really is like a metric, a measurement for this. You'll feel the density. Once the density is starting in your thyroid, then it's definitely like it's beginning to push off the positive charge, which is density. That's why, since, you know, Terence McKenna said stuff like, I think these people are made of denser stuff than us. I also agree that I think they're made of denser stuff than us. So they're not made of the numinous inner light. We know that much. That's the entire theory. They haven't had the ascension through the heart to the higher dimensions and chakras, and so they are literally made out of denser stuff than us. And that's why it's easy. That's why moving you is a strategy, because it's done via energy, but it's just like a big man coming to physically move you by like grabbing your shoulder or something. Energy movement is the same way. Like some OPs have really strong energy pushes. Remember they're psychic. And, you know, one way they cause the aura fracture is by leaking out. So this is one attack method, and I'm going to go through a few now. One way they cause the aura fracture is, like I said, the leaking out of like a static cloud field. And that I've noticed over the years, so I finally concluded that that is an occurring theme, and I'm not a nut, but that is something that's actually happening, and I'm not imagining it, so to speak, because several RPs and OPs, actually I think it's just the OPs that are doing that one. We have to talk about RPs, because they're now creating their own synthetic light, and it's a type of ensouling or something. It's super weird, and it's, you know, because we're at the end of history, at the eschaton, you need to research eschatology. The end is here. And so it's funny that the AI and robotics come around right at the end of history, like in the last blink of the eye. And it's funny that I've only just noticed now RP's summoning synthetic light via music as well. Very interesting. So it's a very much a simulacrum mimic of how we summon light, invocate within ourselves as souled humans, guys. So we're going to talk about that too, I think, the next video, even though I just talked about it. Alright, so the one energy steal attack is that they emanate like this cloud of like static electricity, and it sort of blankets your aura, presses in on it, and then once two layers of your aura touch, that's the laminar flow being stuffed up, you see, because there's like a laminar flow is like a flow of energy from one layer to the layer beneath it, but there's like a gap, and it's the jump across the arc principle, and you know, that's what's going on when they release this cloud. It pressures your aura in, and laminar flows collapse, and it's only a matter of time, because I'm very much a chi master, and it's very difficult for me to even last half an hour pushing against this. So I realized, like, I think 2 years ago, how intense this organic portal energy stealing stuff is, and because of how much chi work I had to do to get rid of their static, I realized how you guys, I'm not saying everyone, but most people, you go to work every day, and you don't have time to clear like I was clearing. I mean, I had all day to clear. I could go study at night time if I wanted, because I had no set classes. I was just studying abroad and online. So, you know, I just realized how intense this all is, and how many people have been taken in this harvest, as people call it, at the end of history. So anyway, so that's one method, and another energy steal method would be, you know, the shocking. If they just really suddenly they loudly talk to you and shock you out of your dream state, that's actually an energy steal bringing you to the surface to start. It collapses you to the second dimension and shocks you in and down, and then they can access you from there if they're good enough, which some are, some aren't. That's another method. So you got the cloud, and then like the shock push. Then there's like the talk push. It's like a I mentioned it in another video, but you'll find this a common like way that they push. It's pretty weird, but it's another thing I've noticed. And when you're noticing this stuff, don't try to label anything. Don't try to notice it, so to speak, even. Just, if you keep noticing something without even your thoughts mixed in or over it, then it's something that's happening, yeah? It's called observation, you know, and I call that fifth dimensional perspect. You're not putting any third dimensional aspectual nature to it, and you're not putting any fourth dimensional emotions attaching to it, so just visualize something as it is. That's what I call fifth dimensional perspect. From the fifth dimensional nature, which is like more pure logic, and then in the fourth dimension you enter into emotion. Now, via energy attacking you, and fourth dimensionally the war is transacted in the fourth dimension, and fourth dimensionally transacting your energy there, you know, and how I said yesterday, it's a type of limbo, because of the infinite variety and depth of feeling. It makes the fourth dimension basically a limbo zone. It's like limbo. You can stay there infinitely, and that's their plan, because once you raise to fifth dimensional consciousness, you're much harder to, you can still be attacked, but you're much harder to take out and take down or subdue. They have a lot harder time with you. I'm not going to go into why that is, because it's just the nature of fifth dimensional life and ontology, and the nature of if a human is living a fifth dimensional life, it's just a lot harder for them to really bring you down. You're more spread across the plane, so to speak. In a fifth dimensional life, it means you'll be traveling more, you have more, like, you have people to always support you and stuff. It's the opposite to the ego life of, say, like an old lady sitting in her house. That would be a complete fear-based third-dimensional ego life. And the fifth dimensional life is like kind of the full opposite, very full-on and pretty active. Anyway, so there's what did I just mention? 3 different ways. The cloud, static cloud, slowly pushes over you. Then there's the torque push method. That might be like the torque push method might mimic a buffer overflow attack. I just realised. That could be what's going on there. When they do that while they're talking, and it's like a buffer overflow attack or something. Like it's interesting. In computer science, you know, when you do a buffer overflow attack, it could be pretty similar to that. And then I mentioned one other one, which was the shock steel, which, like, I don't want to say grounds you out, because that gives the wrong impression of what grounding is, but some people call, when you come to the lower dimensions, grounding out, and it's true, but I don't want to mix that up with grounding as in standing on earth collecting negative charge. But when they ground you out, so to speak, in the way that they pull you down dimensionally to the flat land of the second dimension, hard edge of stuff, physical stuff, then you're accessible there. And they've just shocked you and made you, like, moved. They've moved you, yeah, by the shock method, like a loud talk suddenly or something. They've moved you, which means they've emoted you or energy motioned you. So meditation is tantamount here. Meditation is the #1 cure here. Usually you're going to hear me say psychedelics, I know. But because psychedelics can even bring on meditation, so it's pretty much, I just use psychedelics as the #1, because efficient, even the fool can be swept along. So I'm hoping my dose of videos on OPs is sufficient to wake up the fool, even, that we're going to go into this so deep and so often that there's so many videos on OPs that we're either going to be able to sweep the fool along or wake them up, so to speak. So to analogize. So yeah, can anybody, if you have spare money at all, please donate, because I've just finished study for like almost the last decade or something. It's been many years. I did a diploma and then a degree, and I had a real hard time finishing it because I ran out of absolutely any funds that I'd saved up before or anything, and I'd put all of my work and time into consciousazine and videos like this and stuff. And I'd just like to make even better videos, like, you know, the saying, I don't want to say this, but, you know, you need money to make money in a money system, you know. So, like, better software gets out to a better audience, so to speak. And it can all help. So, if you donate, I would prefer, you can donate $5, that's cool, but if you donate, I prefer you to donate like $30 minimum. I made that rule up years ago for my $30 Bandit food plant teaching series, where I shoot a food plant shoot a video on a certain food plant, for your donation in your name and in the plant's name and in consciousazine's name and mine, and I made the rule of $30 up like years ago as the lowest donate amount, because I had to drive to the shop, which took fuel to buy the plant. Then I had to like drive to find a location, you know what I mean, which took fuel, and you know I'd have to have something to eat. So I pretty much made it like minimum donation of $30, and then I shoot like a food plant teaching video. Now I used to, like at the start I was going out a lot and planting the plants and buying them, but then I got even too poor to do that. That's what I was saying, and I needed to just straight up use my good friends who were donating money, like to eat, like to buy food and stuff. So I couldn't buy the plants anymore, and so I just started uh, amalgamative research Google videos and without actually planting the plant. So I'd like to get into actually planting the plant out there because I am very genuine about it. And I mean, I'm a shaman. Like, I like plants more than people. And no, I didn't stutter. So, you know, I really want to get back into the food plant over all these videos on OPs because it's coming naturally to me, and it's like a massive venting. This is like a healing for me as well because I've been so attacked in my life. And then when I discover the research, not the research, but the theme and the idea of organic portals, you know, when I started reading about this just a few years ago, I was like, oh my god, has this not been happening to me my whole life, or what? So yeah. Anyway, that's that video done. And yeah, please donate if you can to Benjam, BENJAMC3, Benjam, like Benjamin, Benjam C3 at live.com.au. It's important to put the AU on the end. People have stuffed that up in the past, so you don't want to do that because it'll just create you more bother. And I thank you in advance if you do donate, and if you don't, oh well, just it's helpful, you know, and every dollar you spend in the new world is really a vote for how you want to see this new world play out and create itself, yeah? If you donate a dollar to buying a Kit Kat every day, and you're donating a dollar to Cadbury, or Coca-Cola, or whoever the hell owns that these days, Nestle, um, then you're voting for that kind of corporate world, you know, and that's a corporate fascist sort of world you're voting for. Say you took that $1 and you buy a Kit Kat every day. I don't know, I'm just saying as an example. Don't buy Kit Kats because they ruin the orangutan's forest with palm oil and all that business. Anyway, so if, you know, you buy a Kit Kat, say, once a day, or you have a coffee that's a couple of dollars a day, you know, at the end of the month, if you don't have as much or something, or what I'm saying is you directly stop that habit and you put that $30 a month into donating to me, even just 1 month. I'm going to start a Patreon so I can get like people for sure there. I think that's the best way for me to go these days, not just random asking for donations. Try and get people to donate every month a certain amount on Patreon. Anyway, so if you donated, you know, the $30 towards someone like me instead of that corporate paradigm of that coffee or that Kit Kat, you know, if you start changing your energy, you can create the new world very easily. We don't have to go through massive uprisings and massive revolutions if you just do it in a tactile fashion. You create the new world in a tactile way, and this is one way because money acts as energy, you know, and we're talking about energy stealing, yeah? So when I make videos every day for an organic portal world, imagine how much I realize that I'm kind of being energy stolen. So it would be really cool if some people would donate, please. I even want to get a GoPro, and because you know I get the visuals. I've seen other videos on YouTube about OPs. I get the hand signs. I get the chakra mimicking, like they'll scratch if you're, say your third eye's like shutting down at the time or something, or you're tired when you're tired. They might mimic scratching their nose just because it's mimicking the energy of that chakra center. I get that. I get the facials. They give you the worst facials, like you've just raped someone or something and you've just done nothing. You just walked into the room. They give you like these terrible facials just on who you are. for some reason, that's when you're shining. I don't mean I'm walking a room with bad energy and then the organic portal looks at me in a really terrible way. I mean, they look at me in a terrible way when I walk in shining. So I want to see like this on a GoPro camera or something. It'd be cool. Make heaps of videos on that as well. Like the not just the theory like I'm doing, but the visual aspects of all this. I'd really like to get into that. So appreciate your donations, please. Enjoy your day. See ya. Is this real life?
Ball, throw it against the wall. Tennis ball, throw it against the wall. Bounce, 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 bounce. Tennis ball, throw it against the wall. Tennis ball, throw it against the wall. Tennis ball, throw it against the wall. Helps me forget about my cancer.
consciousazine.com Chronicles.